He's just ensnared units randomly while they're running around, and they're just worn off after a while. So just confusing. But Reach now with a force that's about to take out the upper right. He could do that, but it actually would be useless because there's no minerals that are left. And a couple more lurkers being burrowed into the center there. This is the sort of the last remaining bastion here for Chojja, and Chojja needs to hold it, whereas Reach needs to destroy it. He needs to take it down to be able to decisively beat Chojja here. So this this center of the map here, that will be the focal point of this battle. Of course, in StarCraft, it's always interesting. I mean, what is the focal point of StarCraft? It's not necessarily to kill off all the enemy's units. It's often to kill off workers, but in the late game, it comes up to different things. The focal point of the battle could be killing off the enemy's buildings. It could be killing off his standing army, because you might not necessarily care about workers anymore, because the map's all mined out. And that's something to keep in mind while you're playing StarCraft. It's a Clausewitz term. If you guys have read On War by von Clausewitz, he talks about how basically, you have to win a war and to fight it well, you have to know what to focus on. Sometimes it's the morale of the enemy, sometimes it's their units, sometimes it's their territory. And in StarCraft, usually I'd say 90% of the time, it's their workers, it's their economy you want to focus on. But in this late game, it's pretty much the focal point is the one remaining base. It's not really just the workers anymore, it's the one remaining expansion. And in this, we're going to have to see one big battle. So perhaps the focal point will have to come down to the armies. Play going off on the Corsairs of Chojja, of Reach rather, and Reach, well, he's not going to have that much health on them, but shouldn't disturb him too much. Chojja has taken those two central positions, though, those two central mineral onlys, and Reach does have those High Templar denying mining at them, which is absolutely brilliant. And Reach is getting a couple more Stargates up. That's really interesting. And a Fleet Beacon up for Reach, so Reach going for late game carriers, and this is what Stork did against GG Play a few days ago. We watched that. And Reach is actually, I actually should have mentioned that earlier, I didn't notice it, but Reach has denied mining to both of these expansions using those sneaky High Templar, and once, but Chojja's trying to get, Chojja's trying to get a sunken colony, but Reach storming the drones with the High Templar. Very, very nice move there, taking advantage of every bit of this map's, basically the map's terrain here, knowing that there's that narrow gap, which is Storm Reach. And Reach, another beautiful storm there, picking up so many drones. And Reach is just not letting up. Chojja is just not catching a break from Reach here. And of course, this is the late parts of a very important tournament. This is the semifinals of the MSL. So both players are playing for keeps here. This is not some pro league game. Both really want to win this. Wow, more Corsairs being built here. I think Reach is paving the way to go for mass carriers, because he doesn't want the Scourge to pick off his carriers. Therefore, he will need a lot of Corsairs. And I'm not sure if Chojja knows this is coming. If Chojja doesn't know that this is coming, it's going to be a good game very soon, because Ultralists, no matter how tough they are, cannot shoot up. And Reach is going to be able to basically just tear apart these expansions and force the GG here. I believe Chojja still has some minerals left at the lower right. Reach has the expansions at the upper left, I believe, still mining for him. The 9 o'clock expansions are, I believe, out of minerals by now. But Chojja, both are basically fighting for the middle. Reach actually going to send in the probes to die here, it seems. He needs to free up that bit of side there to get a couple more carriers. He realized he doesn't need probes anymore. And this is what I meant, of course. In the late games, probes and workers might not be important at all. The focal point of the war changes. And here comes the carrier for Reach coming out. Of course, the difference between StarCraft and normal war is that StarCraft is a total war. You don't ask for surrender from the enemy, you must kill him, basically. So the focal point is generally still more destructive than in real war, which is, as Clausewitz points out, war is just politics by other means. When politics using peaceful means fails, then you go to war and you try to gain your aim through another means, and once you reach your aims, you don't need to continue the war. And by the way, there was a High Templar getting spawned broodlings, so Chojja has been doing a decent work with the spawn broodlings. I guess if the queens have survived long enough, then they have made themselves worth their cost to produce, but I'm not sure if it's worth the micro, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. I guess in a very late game situation, it could be worth it, because those are regenerating spells, of course. Reach sending in a couple more suicidal probes, all those Wallies going down there. Poor Wallies. And Reach just setting up for another storm here. Oh, another storm. 3 more drones going down by the Mantosses, Man Templar. And Chojja gonna spawn Broodling in retaliation. So that's nice work there. I think someone typed in something actually. Reach might have typed in something in the chat, or maybe that was Chojja. Back then, I think you were still allowed to chat in game. I think you're not allowed to anymore. So Reach actually now a couple more Dark Templar. We'll see if he decides to make a couple more Dark Archons, and the Broodlings are going to scout the expansion there. They're going to get killed. Spawn Broodling. Wow. And so I believe Reach is pretty much maxed out now. He does have just a couple of carries. He won't be able to get a lot of carriers, of course, because he has such a large Zealot army too. And here's the audience. They're definitely waiting for the final battle here. And I don't think this is going to end up as a draw, of course. But, it's certainly, they both are taking half of the map each. I'm just reminded of that game between Flash and Jangbi, where it came to naught. But this is Zerg versus Protoss, a whole different ballpark. You don't get a lot of draws in this game. You get them in Terran versus Terran and Protoss versus Protoss a good amount. Anyway, so Reach, with carriers out, Zealots, Dark Archons, Archons, and High Templars. A very complete unit composition here. And yeah, that looks like it was attack upgrade for air units, so air weapons for those carriers. And I'm not sure if Chojja knows about this. This is going to be absolutely critical. Chojja does have some Hydralisks. Leads me to suspect that he has an inkling this is coming. Actually, he does have a good number of Hydralisks, so actually I'm going to assume he knows this is coming. And the Defilers, of course, will be quite useful too against carriers, because he can just plague them and make them so much weaker. And still just a huge maxed out army for Chojja too. I think Chojja is still waiting for Reach to move out with his force. Reach actually sending a demolition squad of Zealots here, interesting enough. I think he's actually just sending them on a suicide attack to pick off some tech. Actually, I believe that's what he's going to do. Try to pick off some tech and free up some size so he can get more carriers. Realizing he doesn't need so many Zealots, and it looks like he is just aiming for the tech here. Aiming for the Ultralisk Den, and he might, if he gets it down, it certainly will slow down tech, going for the spawning pool. And wow, these are absolute hero Mantosses here. Manlots here. Those Manlots know their goal is just to do as much damage as possible, and then to get taken down. And they know they've done their mission, but not managing to take down the Spire though. That's gonna allow Chojja to still build those Scourge. But that size is going to be used to build carriers for Reach, of course. Reach with a couple more Zealots moving in towards the middle. And Chojja should realize by now that his Ultralisk Zergling and Zerglings are not going to be effective against his large carrier force. In fact, I feel that he should move out right now and go for an attack on Reach before he gets a substantial number of carriers, because once they come out, he's only going to have Hydralisk and Scourge to deal with them, and really Hydralisk and Scourge are not going to be enough to deal with a huge number of carriers in Reach's capable hands, especially with some High Templar to back them up. It's just going to be a massacre. And so with that 100 food count or so of Ultralisk and Zerglings, I feel he should move out and go for an attack right now. Maybe Chojja's afraid that, well, maybe Chojja does not have the resources to rebuild that army though. And Reach sending in another squad of Zealots here, suicidal, but they're going to be going for that Spire. They're going to take down that Spire now. Nice work by Reach. We'll see what he goes for next. I think he might even go for the Hive next. No, looks like he's going to go for the Den next, the Hydralisk Den. And Reach sending out that Zealot to get killed off. Maybe just to distract. Reach doing some micro here with his Zealots. Will he take it down? Looks like he unfortunately will not take down the Den there. And those Zealots are just running around still. Reach has just been absolutely great with keeping his Zealots alive and annoying the hell out of Chojja. Inside of his base, of course. So Reach, that Zealot just still running around. Oh, jeez. And by the way, one battle I was going to tell you guys about, I've read a lot about Julius Caesar's Battle of Alesia, Alesia, do check it out if you have a chance. I don't know how you would check it. I mean, read the Wikipedia article and read about it. Absolutely fascinating battle. I was reading a very close book about siege warfare, and that was pretty much the most amazing siege in history. Parasite decided Dark Archon. Julius Caesar had Vercingetorix, the Gaulish commander's forces, surrounded in a city in the middle of a hill, which was basically impenetrable. But Vercingetorix managed to call in all the Gaulish tribes from all of Gaul, which is modern-day France, to attack Julius Caesar, and Julius Caesar was faced with something like a 3-1 or 4-1 attacking force. Zealots going in, and those legions are going to pick off the Hydrost, and Julius Caesar was faced with a 4-1 disadvantage, but he built a wall surrounding the inside to prevent Vercingetorix from getting out of Alesia, and then he built another wall surrounding his own troops so that he could face outwards and face the Gaulish barbarians as they were coming down to attack him. And Vercingetorix and the Gaulish from the inside and outside attacked against Julius Caesar's basically 2 legions holding the double-sided wall, and failed because of Julius Caesar's absolutely perfect defense. Another spawn ruling going off. Julius Caesar had to lead the battle himself, riding a white horse into battle, but managed to block the whole